What's up, guys? David Dobrik has finally broken his silence and posted an apology video to his main YouTube channel. It's a mess, so let's get into it.
Exposed. You're exposed. You're exposed. You are exposed. Exposed. You are exposed, sir. I'm gonna expose you. Oh my god, expose you.
So, I was literally about to go to bed, and then Keemstar tweets out saying he has inside sources telling him David will be dropping a huge video within the next hour. And that's exactly what happened. David Dobrik posted a video titled March 22nd, 2021, and within the first minute of it being posted, it had over 80,000 likes and 250,000 views. David hardly ever addresses anything. It's a known thing with the Vlog Squad that whenever something comes up, they always ignore it because they know it'll just go away and they can move on with their lives. But the difference this time is, it's not going away. It's actually getting worse. At this point, David has pretty much lost all of his sponsorships. So far, DoorDash, HelloFresh, EA Sports, Chipotle, and his biggest sponsor, SeatGeek, have all dropped him. With normal YouTubers, yeah, losing sponsorships is a really big deal, but it's an even bigger deal for David. Hardly any of David's videos have ads on them because he uses copyrighted music, which means he pretty much makes nothing from YouTube. He heavily relies on these sponsors for his videos, so this is huge. I think a lot of people were actually waiting to see if SeatGeek would drop him because out of all of them, SeatGeek has been his main sponsor. They're always giving him Teslas to give away to fans, and they even invested in his new app, Dispo. Speaking of Dispo, David's investors have been pulling out of the project left and right ever since the Insider article dropped. I'm guessing at this point, David realized how bad the situation truly was and officially decided to take a step back from Dispo. They tweeted, "Dispo condemns any form of and believes survivors must always be heard and supported. In order to remain true to our mission, we support David's decision to part ways with the company." This is huge. I don't know if you guys know how big this is, but to put it into perspective, Dispo has been said to be valued at over $200 million. It's safe to say David's career relied heavily on this apology video being widely accepted. David finally dropped the video in the middle of the night, and thankfully this time it was longer than 2 minutes. David starts off the video by saying he's had a ton of people around him non-stop, and this is the first time he actually got to sit down alone and speak to his fans. Apparently people were telling him what to do, what to say, and how to handle the situation, but he didn't want to listen to them. He admits his last video was bad, but says he won't be deleting it. I'm guessing because people would probably accuse him of trying to hide something. He says in this video he won't be discrediting any of the victims, the journalist who wrote the article, or Trisha Paytas. He probably saw how much backlash Jeff got for discrediting them and made a point to say he wouldn't be making that same mistake. David goes on to say he fully believes and stands by the girl that came forward about Dom. David and Dom have been friends since childhood. They went to school together, and David says he just couldn't wrap his head around the fact that his longtime childhood friend could do something so horrible to someone. A few years ago, Dom was called out by another creator with a very similar experience to the one that was inside of the Insider article. When she spoke out, she was dragged by David's fans. You can actually still go look at her videos to this day, and they have over 16,000 dislikes. The comments under the video were so horrible too, and only recently have they turned positive. Someone commented, "The like to dislike ratio shows how messed up this community is. Ali, I'm sorry what happened and hope this video gets the attention it deserves." It took 3 years, but in the end, the truth always comes out. The fans were so blind. They were so deep in, they didn't realize the deeper truth. 3 years ago, after Ali posted these videos, Dirty Dom posted the worst excuse of an apology video in the world, and everyone ate it up, including David. David publicly accepted Dom's apology and chalked the situation up to just being an idiot. 3 years later, David is finally acknowledging Ali and directly apologizes to her. He says he's sorry he took Dom's word over hers, and he's sorry for not believing her. After David's video went live, I actually went on Twitter and I saw a tweet about this part in David's video, and I thought it was really interesting. David Dobrik said he couldn't wrap his head around the fact his childhood friend was not, and that's literally the problem. Men will ignore and discredit women but won't hold their besties accountable. David continues on the topic of Dom and says once he realized the power dynamic that was happening, he made the decision in 2019 to stop filming with him. He says his mistake was not going back to these women and directly apologizing for giving Dom a platform. Instead, he just moved on, but unfortunately, these women couldn't. After apologizing to the people he's hurt with his vlogs and his family and friends, David announces he's going to take a step back and take a short break from the internet. He says he wants to do better and make a comfortable work environment for the people he employs. He plans on getting a proper HR department so his friends have a safe environment to talk if they ever feel the need to. Finally, he claims he'll be making himself available to the people he's hurt to have a conversation with. He also says he'll be reaching out to a few people himself to hear them out and understand them in hopes he learns from the situation. Before ending off the video, David sends out a message to other creators that make content similar to his. He says you really need to take a look at where the jokes end and where the feelings begin. That line probably stuck out the most to me because that's a huge part of the problem in David's friend group. People like Seth and Big Nick were the punchline to horrible jokes and pranks, and it still bothers them to this day. The one thing I think David was missing from this video was an apology to Seth, Big Nick, and Trisha Paytas. After David posted the video, the response was actually really good. Even the author of the Insider article said David uploaded a real, genuine video. On the other hand though, others just think he's only doing this because he lost all of his sponsorships and his app. David made a point of saying he had people telling him how to handle the situation and he didn't want to take their advice. But I kind of get the feeling this whole setup was a part of their advice. David isn't dumb. He knows the classic PR apology he did last time turned out horrible and he had to go a different route this time around. He even took advice from Trisha on Frenemies and sat on the floor to make it feel more real. At one point, David even got emotional while he was speaking, and I know tears can be seen as put on and fake, but then again, this situation probably has to be really overwhelming. It's hard to tell, is David getting upset because of what his vlogs did to people, or is he upset because he's losing all of his sponsorships? I think it might be a little bit of both. Eventually, Trisha Paytas woke up and she saw David's video and went off on Twitter. Here's what she had to say. As someone who had a traumatizing week from January 29th, 2019 to February 5th, 2019, due to David putting 2 bits in 2 vlogs involving me that I specifically told him not to put in, I don't forgive him. He ignored me at the time of the trauma and kept the videos up and ignored me for 2 years. I'm glad he's acknowledging things and I hope he truly has some sort of empathy now. It took losing all of his sponsors for him to say something, and that speaks volumes. Funny how he ignored everyone's calls for years, but now he's making himself available. I think David is disgusting. I always will. He's calculating and manipulative. But good job taking my note from Frenemies and sitting on the floor for your apology. I can't imagine how the victims feel right now. To get an apology via video instead of direct contact, I'm now bent on getting my old text from 2019 to share. I called David and Jason the morning before I made a video. They both ignored my calls. Jason told me he'd break up with me via text if I made a video, and David told me he was too busy boarding a plane to answer me. That whole week I was shaking with the content he put out in the vlog. I know people had it way worse in his vlogs than me, but the humiliation, embarrassment, and total lack of control I had in that final week is something I'll never shake. And yes, no apology from David after losing all of his sponsorships and app will never be good enough. It's so fake. This would have felt more sincere 6 months from now after he reached out to people directly, after he donated to causes, researched and educated himself. 3 days after you attempting to discredit people isn't believable. Right now, David's video has over 200,000 likes and only 2,000 dislikes. This is an insane like to dislike ratio, and I'm just wondering if that's going to change as the days go on. David hasn't been the only one to address what's been going on. Carly and Aaron from the Vlog Squad posted a video saying they stand by the girls who've come forward and they think what happened is disgusting and they don't condone anything. They weren't there the night the situation happened, but they recognize since they were directly associated with the group, it was important to speak up. Even David Dobrik's assistant Natalie spoke out about the situation, and it was pretty much just PR written on her Instagram story. Like I said, right now the internet seems to be kind of split on how they feel about David's video. It's always hard to tell because normally at first all of the positive comments are from fans, but once people take a step back and process the situation, feelings change. It's now the next morning after David posted the video, and brands are still dropping him. The latest brand to drop him is Bumble, and they said they'll no longer be working with David or his team moving forward. Anyways guys, let me know what you think about everything down below. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up button because it really does help my channel, and I'll see you next time.